working on so far. The data we'll be working on so far. So, like I said, what we want to do in today's class is just build a dashboard of the data. Okay, we just want to build a dashboard of the data. When I'm teaching beginners, okay, I don't like making dashboard too complex. Dashboard is meant to be very simple. Okay, your header. Just think of your dashboard as your header, couple of card visuals, and then some other normal visuals. Now, your card visuals are aggregates, like I said initially already. Okay, isn't it? Then for as you practice, as you do more and more, okay, you tend to get better when it comes to building dashboard, and then you can build more complex looking dashboard. But starting out, I advise my students, whenever you want to build a dashboard, stick to just 2-3 colors. Okay, don't let your dashboard be something that is screaming color. All right. That is always make sure your alignment is proper. Align your visuals properly. Okay, so we'll see what I'm talking about once we start. All right, so I want us to get over with this one, and then I would start a particular task on the Power BI internship, like I said, online. Then you would go ahead and complete it. Okay, so that's part of the reason why I'm giving us notes for Power BI project, because I want to complete the Power BI internship online and the certificates. Right, so you should be able to do that before Wednesday. So I want us to start posting our certificates on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so once I do one task for you tonight, if you are able to complete the remaining 2 tasks, all right, you get your certificates once you are done. Okay, and once you are done, what you simply do is post your dashboard, post your certificates on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so that others can see as well and be encouraged to take up that Power BI internship. All right, so let's start off with this dashboard first. Okay, so building a dashboard is not hard at all. Building a dashboard is not hard at all. Okay, so just take notes of the process. Okay, so like I said, basic dashboard, because you are beginners. So just think of header, title, header, title, card visual, normal visual. Okay, header, title, card visual, normal visual. All right. Like in the Excel class, I taught us how to download icons and put icons in some particular visuals in Excel, isn't it? So you can do likewise here in Power BI. I'll demonstrate 1 or 2, and then you can do as much as you want. But let's start. Like I said, header. So I'm going to create a background for my header, okay? And that would be let's say, a rectangle. All right. So in doing that, for those of you dropping questions on the chat box, I might not be able to answer your question because now I want to hide this control, that black stuff that is over there. So I might not know if anyone has dropped a question. Okay, but if there's anything urgent, such as maybe let's say maybe I've exited the call and I don't know, okay, you can probably drop a message on the WhatsApp group chat or something. I don't know, but I think I should know. Any other thing should work out well. All right, so let's start. So I'm going to come to my insert tab up here, insert, and I want to insert a shape. So I'm taking it slowly, okay? And everything I'm going to do, every single thing I'm doing, I'm going to be saying it, okay? So the only issue you might have, for those of you that usually follow along when I'm practicing in class, for those of you that usually follow along, if you don't get a step, okay, just skip the step and follow what next you can follow. All right. So, but don't worry, I'll try to be as slow as possible and also mention everything I'm doing. So, insert tab. The only reason why you might not be able to follow fully is if you don't know where some particular things are. For instance, if I say insert tab, you should not be looking anywhere but up here if you know where the insert tab is. Okay, so now insert tab, on the right hand side I have shapes. I'll click shapes and click the first rectangle. Sorry, first rectangle is what I want to insert. You see that inside the rectangle, I'm going to double click to move it. I'll move it to the corner. Then I have some small edges on the box that I can click and drag to resize. So I'll click this corner and drag to resize. So this will form the background of my header. Okay, so I'm going to color this header now. Currently it is color blue, but I want to change the color. Say I don't like this color, what do I do? Click on this rectangle. I have format shape on my right hand side here. I'm going to come to shape. You see that it's rectangle, right? Close it, and then I'll open style. So for the style, the fill color is blue. So let's say I want to change it to this color. Beautiful, right? So I'm going to, this border that I have here, I'm going to turn it off. Turn off the border. Okay, then after that, close this up, close this up. I'll click outside or click anywhere. You see that? So I have the background for my header. So now I want to give my dashboard a title. Okay, so I'm going to insert a text box. I'm still on the insert tab, remember? So I'm going to click text box this time around. And inside the text box, I'm going to type, let's say, Malik's sales dashboard. Okay, Malik's sales dashboard. I'll highlight by pressing Ctrl A. It highlights everything in the text box. Then over here is where I can change the font color. Okay, over here is where I can change the size of the dashboard. So I'll click here to change the size of the text. Come back to your text box, Ctrl A to highlight everything. Come here, change the size. And let's say I make it 60. Now 60 is too big. Let's make it 54. All right, beautiful. So 54, nice. I'm going to make it bold. Beautiful. And then I'm going to close this up a bit. Okay, close this up, the text box, close this up a bit. Now, for me to move my text box into the header, what I'm going to do is look at your text box. You'll see 3 dots at the top right corner of your text box. If you click that 3 dots, you'll be able to move your text box anyhow. Do you see that? Okay, so I'm going to reduce the size of the text again. Let me make it 44 this time around, and then close it up a bit. Currently, the stuff is now at the bottom. The 3 dots is now at the bottom right corner of the text box. So I can click it and move it to the middle. Okay, but this is still not looking very nice like that, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is very, very simple. Click on the text box. Click on the text box. Come over to where you have format your text box on the right hand side. Click on effects and then turn off the background. This background here, turn it off. Okay, nice. So now I have my text blending on the header background that I created myself, isn't it? So the next thing I'm going to do is very simple. I'm going to click here again, Ctrl A to highlight all the text, and I will now change the color of the text to white. I'll click outside. Nice. So now I have a good heading for my dashboard. Okay, I have a good heading for my dashboard. So the next thing I'm going to do is very simple. I want to create card visuals for this dashboard. Okay, I want to create card visuals for this dashboard. So how do I go ahead and create my card visuals? So very easily, let's say I want about 4 or 5 or even 6 card visuals. Okay, all you have to do is select your card visual on the visualization pane over here. You see the card visual? I'll select it. That's the first card visual, isn't it? I'm going to resize it. I'll take it up here. Right? And then what do I want on that card visual? I want to see the total sales or current total sales. I'm going to open my measures here, and I have my current total sales, the measure. So I'll drag it to the fields here. So this is my current total sales, but the text is too big. It's not showing very well in the card visual. So all I will do is very simple. Make sure my card visual is selected. I'll come to where I have my visualization pane, and I will click this icon. This icon says format your visual. I will click this, and I will come to call out value, and I will reduce the size to 30. Beautiful. Do you see that? Reduce the size to 30, and I will expand this a bit, and I have my current total sales. Do you see that? Okay, so I'll come over to general, still on my format of visual pane. Come to general, come to effects, and then come to where you have shadow and turn it on. Okay, so turn on the shadow, and the card visual looks nicer now, unlike before. It looks nicer now. Okay, if you look at this, it looks nicer now. So click my card visual. Instead of coming here to insert card visual again and again, don't stress yourself. Press Ctrl C. So let's say you want 6 card visuals. Okay, press Ctrl C. You already have 1 card visual. It means you need 5 more. So once you press Ctrl C, that copies the current card visual. Then you paste it 5 times. Ctrl V 1, V 2, Ctrl V 3, Ctrl V 4, Ctrl V 5. So it creates 5 more copies. Okay, so take the first one to the end where you want it to be. Okay, let's say I want it to be here. Take the second one next. Take the third one next. Take the fourth one next. Take the fifth one next. You see that? Now I have 6 card visuals. So alignment is key. I need this to align very well, to be straight on one line, and to make sure that there are equal spaces between them. So I will press my Control key down and select all of them. While pressing my Control key, I will click on all of them to select everything. Then I will come up to my ribbon where I have format. Then I will come to where I have align, and I will first say align top. Then I will say distribute horizontally. Click on align, distribute horizontally. Beautiful. So if I click outside now, you see what I have, isn't it? Let me take this in a bit and then redo it. So distribute horizontally. Good. Now, but you might ask, but sir, we're having just current total sales again and again. Why? Let's change it. Yes, we can change it. So this first one is already giving us the current total sales. The next one should not give us current total sales, isn't it? Let's use the next one to calculate maybe profits. So I'll click on it, the card visual. I will come to the fields under my visualization pane here, and I will delete the field that is there, current total sales, remove it. So what do I want to use this for? Let's say I want to use it for we didn't calculate the profits, did we? We didn't calculate the profit. Okay, there's no problem. So let's say I want to use it for the sales. Okay, the revenue month on month. Okay, revenue month on month percentage. So I will click here and drag it into fields. So currently it's saying infinity, but we already know what that means. We need to activate our slicers. So there's no problem for that. We'll leave it like it is. Okay, then while my visual is still selected, I need to format this so that if it is negative, it will show red. If it is positive, it will show green, isn't it? So I want to format the revenue month on month color. Then I'll come over to format your visual on the visualization pane, call out value, and then I will click on this FX. Click on the FX, and then format style should be field value. What field should we base this on? Base it on the color MOM that we created the other time. Color MOM, and click OK. Beautiful. Then I'll come over to my next card visual, this one. So I don't want current total sales. I'll go back to my visualizations. I'll remove current total sales. And let's say we're looking at the revenue year over year now. Okay, so I'm supposed to use the same method to format the color conditionally, but I don't have the measure created. That was the assignment I gave you. So you follow that same procedure to color yours. All right. Then the next visual, this one, I don't need current total sales. I'll remove it. Let's look at the sales year to date. I'll drag it and put it in there. Sales year to date. Okay. So it is working with the current year, which I'm guessing is 2021. Okay, so there's no problem, it's correct. I'll move on to the next card visual. I'll click here. I don't want to see current total sales again. Let's say I want to see how many customers do they have. How many customers do they have? So I will drag full name to fields. So it takes the first full name, but I don't need the first full name. I need how many, meaning I want to count. So where I took it to, I will click that drop down arrow, and I will take the count distinct. Count distinct. Good. So this is count of full name, but this is the number of customers, isn't it? So I need to change this count of full name to customers. So I will come over to where I have my fields again, double click, and then change it to customers. Okay, then come over to the last one. Let's say I want to see the number of products sold so far. Products sold. So that is quantity. I'll take the sum of quantity. So remove this current total sales. Take quantity in there. So this is sum of quantity, products sold. So I will double click here and change the name to products sold. See that? Right? So I'm done with my card visuals. So the next thing I want now is say my normal visuals. Okay, so I want to perform some analysis and then visualize. So let's say first, now we don't have a question, so we're doing this on our own. But assuming we have a question to answer, we'll answer, visualize, and put it on the dashboard. All right. So let's say we're asked to, okay, what is the sum of sales by segment? Okay, that's a question. Okay, well, that's too direct. They can ask you, okay, how do we, what is the sales by segment, or which segment is the best performing segment? So they want to see the sales by segment, isn't it? So I'm going to start with I can start with a a bar chart, my segments first, which is the categorical variable, and then my sales next. Good. So there are just 3 categories. So I can use pie chart for this. All right. So while the visual is still selected, I'll click on pie chart. It will automatically convert it to a pie chart. Do you see that? So I'll resize it. Take it up here. Alignment. You can see those red lines and what I'm using to align. So the red line here means that it is on the same line with the first visual. Okay, and the red line in the middle means that, okay, that bottom is in the middle of the canvas of the dashboard. Okay, so if I would like something like this, I leave it, isn't it? But I can't see these things properly, so I'm going to, while my visual is still selected, I'll come over to format your visual on the visualization pane. Now, each of these colors are called slices. Each of these things is called a slice. So I can change the color of each slice if I want. Let me show you how to do that. Click slice. For consumer, let's say I want the color to be this. For corporate, let's say I want the color to be something like this. And then for home office, let's say I want the color to be something like this. Do you see that? Let me change the color for corporate to be more distinct. So do you see that? Okay, but the figures are not showing very well. I'll go back to my detail labels. Under detail labels, I will come to where I have values, expand values, and then let me reduce the size a bit. Still not showing full. Okay, I'm going to expand it a bit. Good. So each value is showing properly now. I'm fine with that. So my segments here, I don't need title segments here. This is called a legend. So a legend assigns color to each categories in a variable. So this legend is telling you that the color blue is for consumer, the color purple is for corporate, the color ash is for home office. So I'm going to locate legend where I am editing. This is legend on my format your visual pane. Expand legend, then come to where I have position. I want the position to be at top center. I click top center. Do you see that? Top center. Then I'm going to click where I have title. I will turn off the title. You see that? Finally, I'll come to general, effects, and then turn on shadow. And I'm done with my first visual. Okay, so let's say the next thing I want to see, let us now see the sum of sales by category. What is the sum of sales by category? Okay. Sum of sales by category. I'll start with a bar chart. Category to y-axis, sales to x-axis. Now, the reason why I'm putting category on y-axis, sales on x-axis, because I'm working with a stacked bar chart. If it is in this form, which is a stacked column chart, you see that even though category is coming first, the axis here says x-axis. So you need to be conscious of the x and y axis, like I've explained in previous classes extensively. So I'm going to refer back to my stacked bar chart. And I'm going to expand this properly to show all the categories. Do you see that? You see that? So sum of sales by category. Okay, so I'm going to expand this a bit. Now, sum of sales by category is the title, isn't it? Now, very easily, they should know that these are the category if I am dealing with sum of sales by category. So they don't need a title here to give them category. They don't need a title here to tell them sum of sales, because this is already the category. They will know already from the title sum of sales by category. So I'll come over to my format your visual again. Open y-axis. I will turn off the title. Only title, turn it off. I will close y-axis. Open x-axis. Turn off the title as well. Now, these numbers 0 and 1 down here, you can decide to turn it off if you want. Let's say I turn it off. How do you turn it off? Values. Click on values to turn it off. So, but if I want to show values on the bar, what will I come to? Close x-axis and come to data labels. So for data labels, you turn it on. Bam. You see that? You turn on the data labels. Now it's showing in $1 million, $1.4 million, $0.5 million. What if I wanted to show in thousands? How do I do that? Oh, it's very easy. I'll come over to my data labels again, expand it, scroll up. Where I have value, expand it, scroll up. Now where I have display units, it says auto. Click on it and change it to thousands, if it's thousands you want. Do you see that? But I'm going to return it back to auto. Just wanted to show you that as well. Okay. Then I'm going to increase the size of the data labels like this. Looks nice, beautiful. So I'm going to close it. I'll close this as well. And then I will come to bars. I want to change the color of the bars. I don't want this blue. So I'll come to bars, expand bars. Where I have color, click on it and then change the color. So let's say this is the color I'm using so far. So click on that and you've changed the color. All right. Now, finally, while the visual is still selected, come over to General under Format Your Visual. Click on General and then turn on Effects, Shadow. Turn on the shadow. You see that? Okay. So let me expand this a bit. Show office supplies fully. Okay, leave it like this. All right, so I'm done with that. So let's say they give me another question. Okay, so what is the sales? What is the sales by? Who is that person? Now, I'm asked the question, what is the sales by country? Okay, so sales by country, let's do a visual for it. I'll start off with a stacked bar chart. Country, which is the categorical variable, come first. Then the values, which is sales, come on the x-axis. Beautiful. I have just 3 countries. Nice. So I can use donut chart or pie chart. So we've seen pie charts. Let's use donut charts. I'll click on donut charts and you see that. Okay. I'll move it here. And then without format, without using so much time to format, where it now becomes easier, click on a similar chart. For instance, now pie chart is similar to donut chart. So click on that pie chart, come up to your Home tab, where you have Format Painter. Click on it, and then go and click on the donut chart. You see that? Once I click on the donut chart, you see automatically it formats it to look like this. The shadow has been turned on. The title of the legend was removed. You see that? The legend was moved from the side to the top. Do you see that? So the only thing I need to do is just change the color of the slices. So I'm going to close this up a bit. And I'll change the color of the slices. So come over to format your visual, open slices, and let's change the color. So for Germany, let's say the color for Germany is, let me make use of a different color this time around. This color, the color for USA is, let's say, this color. And then the color for Poland is, let's say, this color. Okay? So next up, I've answered the question. So the best performing country in this regard now is which country? The first one, which is Germany. You see that? Followed by USA before Poland. You see that? So next up, let's say I am asked another question. Okay, so what is the top 10 products? Okay, so our top 10 selling products by revenue, or let's say our top 10 revenue generating products. Top 10 revenue generating products. So you want to see the top 10 products that bring in the most revenue, isn't it? So what do I do? Very easily, top 10 products, revenue. So meaning I'm going to look at sales by products. Then I will now do the top 10 products, isn't it? So I will start with a bar chart again. Expand this to C. Now, drag product name to Y-axis, and then sales to the next one. Okay, so easily I see that, oh, I have many products, but they ask me the top 10. They just want to see the top 10. What's our top 10 revenue generating products? So I want to see the top 10 here. How do I get the top 10? Open your filters pane. Open it up. Now, where you have product name, expand it. You need top 10. Currently, it's showing basic filtering. Click that basic filtering and click top N. So once I click top N, it will ask me top what? I want to see the top 10. So top 10 by what? So top 10 by the sales. So I will drag sales to value. It takes the sum of sales immediately. Let me do that again. By which value? By the sales. So I'm dragging sales from here to here. So I will drag sales and drop it here. Then I will apply filter. So immediately I apply filter, you will see that all those much products has been reduced to just 10. Just 10. You see that? So I don't want to stress myself. I see a similar chart here. Isn't it? Let me use the formatting for this chart here as well to make my life easy. So click on this chart, click on Format Painter, and then click on this chart. Automatically. Do you see that? The shadow has been applied. The name of the axis, product name, or category or something, that's been removed. The data labels have been added. You see that? So the only thing you have to do is what? Resize it. So you see that it is easier to do the visuals here opposed to Excel. Excel, you cannot copy formats like this. And I'm done with my sum of sales by product name. You see that? So you can see the way I'm making sure the bottom aligns, the corner aligns. Okay, the middle might not necessarily align like this, but make sure that the bottom aligns, the top aligns. You see that? Okay, so let's say I'm asked another question. Okay, so what is the sales by year and by day? So sales by, not sales by year, sorry, sales by month, sales by day. Now I know that I am talking about sales by time, day or month. So which charts will I use? I've mentioned this before here. It's part of your test question though. So which chart will I use? Beautiful, line chart. So I will insert a line chart. Insert a line chart. Okay, so currently first I want to see sales by day or sales by, let's use sales by year at the bottom. Okay, sales by year. Or sorry, I said sales by year. Sales by month rather. So I'm going to come over to where I have month name, which is the categorical variable. I will drag it to the first axis here. Then I want to see it by the sales. So I will expand here and I will drag sales into next axis. So you see how it's showing the line, isn't it? But my January, February, March, April, May is slanted. I don't like it the way it's slanted. If I say I should expand it, it takes up space. And it's still not, this is when it's full. It's taking up much space. Okay, what if I use the abbreviation of the month instead of the full? Instead of January, February, March, April, just Jan, Feb, Mar, May, May, Jun, June, Jul, July, like that. So in order to achieve that, can someone tell me what I will do? Instead of having these month names in full, can someone tell me just one thing I will do that will turn this month name that is in full to the abbreviation JAN for January, FEB for February, like that, like that. Let me see who is the person that will get it. I'm currently looking at the chat box. Beautiful. Change to MMM. I love that. It means you are following. So I'm simply going to change the formula I have on my month name. Click on month name. And I will change this formula here. Okay. For you, your own might just be a single straight formula because that's what you guys used. Okay. So I'll just change the MMM for my month name to 3 M's instead of 4. So once I press enter, watch what is going to happen down here. You see that automatically it straightens using the abbreviated form. You see that? So I love that. Nice. So it means that let's go ahead and shorten that of the day as well. So I will click my day name. Okay, come to where I have the formula, change it from 4Ds to 3Ds, and press enter. So the day name as well will be shortened easily. Okay, so now let us go ahead and format this visual. So click on the visual. And another thing is you can format a line chart. All right, using it, but we've not done a line chart before. Okay, let's proceed. So I want this to align with this chart here. Nice, good. So I'm going to remove this title that says sum of sales here on this axis. I don't need that. Okay, so come over to format your visual. This is the y-axis. So I'm going to expand y-axis, and I'm going to turn off title alone. Okay, I'll close it up. Now expand, come to general, come to effects, and turn on shadow. Finally, okay, let's blend the color. So come to visual, come to lines, go down, come to where you have colors, expand it, and change the color to the one you have been using so far, which is this. So without stressing myself, because this one is currently sum of sales by month name, what I need next is sum of sales by day name. Without going through all the process again, I will simply click on this visual, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. I'm going to take it up here. So I have two sum of sales by month name. So for this first one, let's see it by day name. So I'll come back to my visualizations, and I will remove month name from x-axis here, and I will slot in day name. No stress. Do you see that? Very easily. And I'm done with that. Let's say I'm asked one more question, another question. They ask me, what is the, say, the sales by category, sum of sales by category. Okay, let's go ahead and insert maybe a stacked column chart. Category is a categorical variable, so it's going to come first. And then sales, I'll drag sales to my y-axis. Okay, so we have seen sum of sales by category before. Sorry about that. Let me delete that. Remove category. So let's see sum of sales by have we seen by segment? Yes, we've seen by segment. By state would be much. Let's say by state. I knew by state was going to be much. This is quite much, okay? But let's say we also want to see maybe the best performing, maybe the top 10 states as well, okay? So let's say we want to see the top 10 states. So it means I'll come over to states, and then I'll come over to where I have filtering top N. I'll change it to maybe top 10. Top 10 by sum of sales. Drag it here, and then apply filter. You see that? Or let's change it to top 5. Apply filter. Beautiful. You see that? Okay. And then what I will simply do is click on this bar chart, format painter, and then click on this one. You see that? Sum of sales by state. Okay. So if you are given questions and you feel like, okay, this question, you answered it, you need it to be on your dashboard. Okay, I've answered this question. I want it to be on my dashboard. You put it on your dashboard. There are some questions you will answer when you're analyzing that do not necessarily need to be on a dashboard. Okay, that is one. So finally, we're going to insert slicers. Let's go ahead and insert slicer for the year and maybe slicers for the months as well. Okay, so to insert slicer, simply deselect, click anywhere. Now I will insert a slicer, and let's say I want to slice by the year. I'll drag year to field. Beautiful. Now, what if I don't want this slicer that I have to be dragging the line. Okay, while my slicer is selected, I'll come over to format your visual. I'll come to where I have slicer setting, and then the style, I will change it to drop down. I prefer this, so I will arrange it for properly, and then let me take it to this corner. Arrange it well, bring it here. I want to put it on the header. So what I will do is very simple. I will drag this Malik dashboard to the corner to make space for the slicer. This looks nicer. This is better. So this slicer now, here, I'm going to come back here, format your visual, general, effects, and I will turn off the background. Good, but I can't see the text again. I need to change the text to white. So come to visual, slicer header, the text font color, change it to white. I'll close this. Then the values, font color, change it to white as well. Okay, then I will change the border color. Okay, border, the color, sorry, not border, sorry about that. The background, so the color for the background would be the same color of the header, this color, so that when I click, I want to slice by year. If I click this slicer now, it shows me this. Do you see that? So I can select any year I want. So let's say I select 2021. Beautiful. Everything will get formatted. Everything will slice. You see that? And currently it says 2021 in here. So let's say I want to see for month as well. Click this slicer, Control C, Control V. So it will create another copy. Okay, so I'll drag this here. This is for month. So I will remove year from here and put in month's name into this place. Month's name. Do you see that? Okay, so if I select month's name, unless I want to select a month, I select June. Do you see that? I come over to year, let's say I select the year 2021. Do you see that? Okay, so now I have my dashboard ready to go. But if I select June 2021, it's just showing one dot for June 2021 on this visual. What if I don't want my month slicer to slice a particular visual? I want this visual to continue showing all the months. Okay, I don't want this month's name, because if I click June, it will only show June here. But I don't want that on sum of sales by month. What will I do? Click the slicer, month name. Come over to where you have format at the top, the ribbon, format. Click edit interactions, and under edit interaction, you see all these circles. If you click any circle, it means that slicer will not slice that visual. So I'm going to come and click that circle for this visual here. Click on that circle. You see that it goes back to the months, January to June, meaning for the year 2021, the data available is only January to June. Okay, so I'm good with that. I will click on this edit interaction again, and I'm fine. And I have my dashboard. So do you see that? So I want you to notice, look at the alignment, look at the color. Okay, so your dashboard does not have to be something that you just color will just full everywhere. Okay, so currently there's still one more field that would have been nice to look at, which is time. Okay, so let me just show you. Let's say I want to include time as well. Let me remove all this. Let me remove all these visuals. So let's say I want to see sales by time. Okay. So I can either use line charts for time, or because it says sales by time itself. Okay. So insert line chart. Okay. Then come over to time on x-axis and then sales on y-axis. So do you see that? Now, this is not meaningful, is it? It's starting from 12 in the morning to 11:59 in the night. This is not meaningful. Let us group the time. Say 12 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, something like that. Okay? How do you group? How can you group? So click on time on your data here, data pane. Click on time. Do you see that? Once I click on time, on my ribbon, let me close this thing. On my ribbon, I have data groups. You can see I've clicked on time on my data pane here. On my ribbon, I have data groups. If I expand it, I will click new data group. I'll call it time bins, no problem. Okay, now I want it to give me 12 to 3, 1, 3 to 6, 2, 6 to 9, 3, 9 to 12, 4, 12 to 3 again, 5, 3 to 6, 6, 6 to 9, 7, 9 to 12, 8. Okay, so let's say I want 8 bins, 8 points in time. Okay, or let's say I want 12 points in time. It doesn't matter. All right, what will I do? I'll simply come to where I have group type, bin. Nice. Bin type, I will change it from size of bin to number of bins. So my bin count, I will change it to maybe 8 or 12. Let's look at 8 first. Okay, and then I will click OK. Now, it's still showing the same way, isn't it? But if you look at your data pane, under time, you have something else created now. Time bins. So instead of time here, remove time. Now put in time bins to the x-axis. You see that this looks better. Do you see that? So between 12 to 3, you can see. You can see. You see that? So you just have distinct points for each time interval. Okay? And that is how it operates. All right? So if this is what you want to add to your visual, maybe instead of day name, some of sales by day name, you can add that one if that is what you want. Okay? Well, we have our dashboard. Okay? So now pay attention. So in case they say, okay, submit, because on that virtual internship project, after you design a dashboard, they might tell you to submit either your Power BI file or a PDF of your dashboard. Okay? If you want to get a PDF of your dashboard, what you simply need to do is this. Delete any page that is not necessary to your analysis. Okay, any page you don't want to appear on your dashboard, you can delete it. Like page 2 down, I'm going to delete it. Page 1, the same thing. I don't need it. So I'm only left with this page. I will now press Ctrl P. Ctrl P to print. So it will export to PDF. yes, range can be done using calculated column. So once it exports to PDF, you see how it shows in PDF format. And this is your dashboard. Okay. So with that, we are wrapping up Power BI. So we've done a whole lot from Excel to Power BI. From Excel, starting with the introduction to data cleaning, moving on to from introduction to data cleaning, moving on to from introduction to data analytics itself, from the very first class, introduction to data analytics, moving on to Excel, understanding Excel, data cleaning techniques, analyze functions, analyzing data in Excel, pivot tables, pivot charts, dashboard in Excel, coming over to Power BI, understanding the concept of Power BI, the Power BI service, and all of that, data cleaning with the Power Query editor, creating calculated columns, calculated tables, measures using DAX, creating time intelligence functions using DAX, analyzing data, generating visuals using our Power BI desktop, building your dashboard as well. So you see, we have learned a whole lot, which really, if you do not practice from time to time, you will tend to forget. Okay, so while the PDF cannot be interacted with, okay, here this one can be interacted with. So you cannot interact with the PDF. Okay, it's a static picture. Okay, so you cannot interact with the PDF. You can't interact with the PDF. All right. So, yeah. Now for the virtual internship projects, I will introduce you to it, and you go ahead and do every single task on it. Okay. It is a Power BI assignment. Okay, but not one that you would submit. Okay, so what we're meant to do now is I give you your Power BI project, because currently we're done with Power BI. Okay, why do we need to delete page 1 and 2? If you do not delete page 1 and 2, it will appear on the what's it called, PDF as well. So assuming you create like 2 pages of dashboard, you can leave those pages, okay, so that it will appear on the PDF. But I don't want those pages to appear because I don't need them. Okay, so now we're done with Power BI. I'm meant to give you a Power BI project, okay, to do, like I said. But one thing I like is for my students to, during training, you do virtual internship projects and you get certificates from it, okay? If you are interested, that is if you are interested. So I don't usually make that one compulsory, okay? I don't usually make that one compulsory. So if you are interested, you do the virtual internship projects and you get your certificates from them. Okay, so think of it like a Power BI assignment between today and Wednesday. Let's see how many of you can do all the tasks and get the certificate. So as you are doing the task, you submit your dashboard, send the picture of your dashboard to the platform and your certificate at the end of the day. Okay, so let's see. Let me open up my Google Chrome to introduce us to it. How can you delete a visual you don't need? It's very simple. Click on the visual and then click the delete key on your keyboard. Once you click on the visual, you click the delete key on your keyboard. So now, the virtual internship, like I said, Forage internship. Click on Forage internship or search for Forage internship, and then you go to theforage.com. Are we really getting a certificate after one project? They will give you a certificate. They will give you a certificate. Okay, you'll be given